G'day and welcome back to my channel. Now look, a big thank you to the Poms. Yes, it's not something an Australian says very often, I know, but look, those limey buggers, they're, well look, my last video, 10 times as many views in the first week. Amazing. It went viral. Well, viral for me, you know. I'm not one of these big million view type sort of channels that are making mega bucks. In fact, my monetization, which is going well. I mean, I have made enough now that I can afford that new bottle of Tamiya Thin that I've been dreaming about. Yes, you get fuck all. Now, yeah, the Poms. Now, for some reason, suddenly the video I put up last time, which is just basically about what was on my bench and what's going to be on my bench and a lot of waffle and wanking, yeah, it went berserk in the UK. Yeah. Yeah, 90% of the views in the UK. So thank you to those 9,000 odd UKians, Poms, yeah, who basically didn't subscribe, didn't get 9,000 subscriptions, who viewed the video, bloody hell, these new teeth, I tell you, these new teeth are a bugger, who viewed my video. Look, thanks guys and girls and those of non-gender, yes. That was brilliant, and I got hundreds of bloody subs out of it as well, so wow, okay, well done. So hopefully you'll watch this one too. I'll try and make it as interesting. Yeah, have you watched my videos? Anyhow, look, enough of that. Now, a couple of weeks ago, it was my birthday. Yes, I'm getting old now. I'm nearly in my 7th decade. I know, it's amazing. You know, with these boyish good looks. Anyhow, Bass the Cat. You know Bass the Cat. Have you watched my channel? Oh, if you haven't, go and watch some of the other videos. You'll find out about Bass the Cat. Anyhow, that lovely cat of mine always buys me a very nice model for my birthday. And this year was no exception, except somehow it got stuck in Russia. I don't know what was going on. It was, you know, there was something going on, something happening, and anyhow, it just got stuck in Russia and it never turned up. But it arrived this week. Yes, my present from Bass the Cat, all the way from Russia, arrived this week. Look at that. That's what she got me. It's huge. Right, I'll have to go back a bit. Yes, because I'm squeezing the bloody camera just to get the angle in. That is what the cat got me. Now, this I have been wanting for some time. I have to put it down. I have been wanting this kit for some time. It's a Zvezda kit, so, you know, could be potluck. But by all accounts, it's not a bad build. And we're going to open it shortly and have a good look. Now, I won't be building this one straight away. No, I've got too much else happening. You know, I've got the Varag. That's got to be finished. That was supposed to go into competition. I've missed every single deadline that was ever set for it. But I'm determined to get the Varag finished in the next month. There's not much to do. And then I've got a couple of little things to mop on my bench. I've got a commission job who Jason's been screaming for that, and rightly so. I've been dragging the chain with that one. I'll get that commission out the way. That's a little fart. Yes, watch the other video. You know what I'm talking about. So I might do this one like a Christmas break. This might be a fun sort of thing to do, sitting here sweating away on Christmas Day, put it together. Because there's not much to it. There's only 3 pages of instructions. Yeah, not much to it. And then there's 5 pages of rigging. Yes, it's the rigging that's the fun part in this, and there's a comprehensive guide. But tell you what, rather than just waffle on about it, how about I open the box, we'll have a look at the sprues, and I can show you everything that's in it, because it's surprisingly quite good and has lots of potential. But more than that, it's just going to be a ball. It's going to be fun, and that is what, to me, the hobby is all about. Now this box is really big. Oh, there's Bass the Cat. Hello Bask, you coming in? Hello Basky, you want to come and have a look at your Christmas birthday present, whatever it was? No, not even talking to us. All right, bit of a tail wag, that's it. Okay, there you go, see there was a cat. Now this is so big I can't even get it on my tripod or get a shot with this thing in my overhead display. So we're going to do a wobbly cam, but I want to show you this. For a change, you know, Zvezda has these sort of funny ways with the kits where they open up, and then you got another box inside. Well, they didn't do it this time, which is terrific, because with the Varag I had to do some surgery to the crazy sort of box, because yeah, boxes within boxes are just kind of annoying. But anyhow, here's the kit. This is what you get. Whoops, that's probably some water slide transfers. Sorry, I'm getting all in the way there. So I'll tell you what, we'll get off wobbly cam here, and I'll hopefully try and get the contents into my overhead display. Oh, you're coming in now, are you, Bask? Oh, hello. Yes. You know it's your present. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Yes, that's the cat. Actually, she likes to go behind the air conditioner because she licks the water back there. And it's a serious problem, isn't it? Speaking of air conditioners, I think we might put that on, Bask. It's going to be 100 degrees today, apparently. Yes. So, all right, enough of that. Bask will help me unwrap this, and I'll show you the contents of the box. Now, the first thing I'd like to show you, because it's the biggest and I had to set up my biggest possible reach, is the hull sides. This thing's huge. It's about 20 odd inches long, or half a metre in our sort of currency, but beautifully moulded, beautifully moulded. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We're getting any detail there? Well, we've put a light on it, Harry Houdini. There's quite a lot of wood planking there. You don't see anything there, that gets covered up. Quite a lot of wood planking. There's certainly a lot of scope to get a wash in there, and you know, a bit of variation of colour and to imitate some wood. It should look pretty nice. Tiny bit of flash, but really not much to speak of. Generally, this the cat bought the kit. This kit is pretty well flash free, yeah, from what I've seen, but we'll take a closer inspection. So there you go, that's the hull halves, and they are huge, because I say just the hull itself is half a metre long, so it's going to be, by the time we stick the bowsprit on it and all the rest of it, it's huge! It's a big sucker. All right, let's get on and have a look at something else where I can get a better camera angle. Now, next loose sprue in the kit, because both the hull halves and the sails are loose. The rest of it is bagged, would you believe? Yes. But just a couple of these are loose, but that's not bad, Zvezda. At least it isn't just one big bag with everything in. But look at these sails. I don't know if you can actually see how transparent they are and the texture on them. I found the texture quite surprising. Can you see that? It wasn't from my wobbly hands. It's almost linen-like, and it is so thin. The plastic is actually quite thin. You might be able to tell there, you could actually see the ribs on the other side shining through. So this is so nicely done. I mean, the ropes might be a little bit exaggerated, but that actually makes them easier to paint. This is very, very nice. Look, there's little points drilled out here for you to put the rigging lines in. So everything's done for you. There's a lot of attention to detail. Again, the holes are in there, and I can't see any flash whatsoever. It's very nicely moulded. These sails are basically good enough. They are. They really are good enough to go as is. So that's another plus. So far, hull halves look excellent. Lots of potential. The sails, and this is just a little wagon thing at the back there where they keep their Indians in. No, can't say things like that anymore. And no, they're it's just the little back canteen area where you know, basically they're serving the ouzo, and you go and get yourself a bowl of olives, that sort of thing. Yeah, I think so. Don't know. Need to do some more research, don't I? Yes. Okay, moving on. Now the rest of the kit is bagged, yes, which is lovely, and most things are in individual bags. At least it's 3 bags, so you haven't got those problems that you sometimes have with everything's just in one bloody big bag. Now this, again, some beautiful moulding. I imagine this is part of the prow, is that the stern? I don't know. It's one end of the boat. Yes, it could be the castle for the stern. Who knows? But we'll have a look at that when we go to the instructions, because really, you're seeing this for the first time that I am. So I haven't opened the bags until this video. I made sure that this experience will be genuine. All my oohs and ahs, yes. These little parts here have fallen off. I know I found those. I don't know how they got out, but they did. They're little joining separators for the hull. I've got them. I found them all. But really lovely detail. Let me see if I can get a bit closer. And you'll see it may be a little bit exaggerated, right? But this is a large scale, 1/72nd scale, and you're going to want to weather and wash this, and and put some effects on it. A few different shades of brown, that sort of thing. That's going to be perfect for what I want to do. So to that end, it's spot on. But parts are lovely. Now these are little covers here which go over the top of the oars, because the sides of the trireme stick out, and oars come out of sanctions or whatever you call them on the side there. I think there's a word for it. I don't know. Do you know what the word is? I think there's a word in tanks. You call them something or other. But there you go. So there's lots of little things. I'm not quite sure what that is, but it's very nice. And there's a hatch there, and there's this is the ram. This is the ram here, which you'll paint copper, because basically they were copper bound, well, wood with copper all over them, and they were bound. So that was one of its main offensive weapons. You know, it was back in the days when you could be offensive, before everybody got so bloody, you know, worried about being offended all the time. Yes, back then the Greeks could offend anyone they liked, and this was one of their offensive weapons. Yes, so that goes in the front. That is the ram. That's lovely. And here's one of your that'd be the main. It's the main mast, and that would be probably the bowsprit. I'm guessing this is all guesswork, but we'll have a look shortly. Now again, I can't see any flash. I see it crisply moulded. There are hints of injection points in there, but really they're probably all going to be hidden. So I don't think any of that's going to be an issue at all. So far, this is looking really good, Mr. Zvezda. I am really impressed. Here we go. This is bag number 2, and it is a big sprue. This is as large as the sprue for the hull size, because we got the whole bottom, yes. And it also is beautifully done. It is beautifully done. Planking and plank markings there. They look terrific. You see all that? Yes. So you know it's good. It's good for what it is, and you're going to build it up into in a very big model. So you know you need sort of to be able to see things. You know, well, tiny things. People are going to be looking at this from afar because they can't get too close. Really, got a bloody oar in their face. So we've got here the side. This is where the oars come out. There's also an assembly here, which is part of that oar setting arrangement. And there's a few little clasps and bits and bobs and things like that. And we'll get to the instructions and find out in more detail. These actually look like some anchor chains, which I thought everything was going to be done with the supplied cotton, which we'll look at shortly. And there's a tiny wee little look at this thing, tiny little thing. Look at it. Can you see that? We got focus. Look at that. And again, look at the state of the moulding. Crisp, clean, no issues at all. Got a couple of anchors there too, looks things. Yes, anchors. So there you go. So far, looking very good. Oh, these would be they're not actually oars. These are how they steer it. Yeah, back in those days, they had a couple of those and they'd steer it with those. So they're a form of paddle, I suppose, really, but it's really the rudder. It's a rudder mechanism, but it's 2 great big oars that stick out the back. That's how they used to do it. And there's another, trying to find enough room in here. There is another great big long, I think this might be the main mast, and what we were looking at before was a bowsprit, maybe a tail pole for the flag. So there's that. First sign of flash in there, but it's not on the parts. All these tiny little rings here, no flash on them whatsoever. So the only flash we're seeing is just outside of the kit part. So flash away, Mr. Zvezda, you're not bothering me. Nowhere near the parts that I need to worry about. So looking good so far. Let's move on. So coming up to the last bag, but I found this lurking in the bottom of the box. So there was another little loose part. That's just the base of the stand. Yes, so no problems there. Those wingy things that were on one of the first sprues we looked at, I'd guess they're part of the stand arrangement because I can't see where they fit on the boat. We'll find out by looking at the instructions. Yes, always helps if you read the instructions. Now, everything else is in one bag right at the bottom there, and there are a few sprues here, but to their defence, 3 of those sprues are all oars. So there's just 1 sprue in here, which is decks. So let's pull that out. Right, here we go. So again, we're looking at some fairly big parts here, and I've got that upside down. So actually, that's just to set all the oars, I no doubt, because there's not much detail on that. It's obviously inside the hull and won't be seen. So really, you just got all the locators for the oars. But here we go again. Beautiful moulding on the deck. And there's some more of this pretend rope. It's not actually chain, it's rope. There's pretend rope for something. So we'll find out what that's all about, because I know there's rigging. They supply rigging. So it's quite nice. So it's a nice little colour. So yes, that's all part of rigging. We'll get to that soon because that'll tie me up knots. Yeah. So that's that sprue. quite nice, and yeah, the deck is going to look terrific with a bit of a one of my tricky little motley wood effects, like I did on the Varag, but I'll be doing some plastic this time, and then a bit of washing and weathering. It should look terrific. All right, moving along. So you get a shitload of oars, and that is a technical term, shitload. Yes, there is a lot, because remember, this thing has got 3 levels of them, so each one of these sprues represents a level, so we'll lose the other 2. You don't need them, so that represents, not that you can even see them all in there, right? There's oh yeah, there you go. That represents 1/3 of the oars, or 1 level. So there's a lot going on, and also on these sprues you get the little shackles here for the rigging. And you get lots of other little devices which are going to be ring devices. I know that these are these ones here, I think, hold the mainstays and the bowsprit in place. So there's all kinds of things, or it could be the rat lines. It's sort of a rat line arrangement. It's not quite the same as what we're used to on our pirate ships and galleons. But yeah, there's lots of little tackle blocks. You keep your tackle blocks in your tackle box. But yes, sorry, I'm probably wobbling around there while I'm making jokes to myself just to amuse myself. But yes, they're there, and they are tiny. They are tiny. So imagine if you try to do this on a smaller scale. You couldn't. It's too small. So there's lots of those. They're lovely. Again, beautifully moulded. Again, nice and clear. I did see a little more flash after I checked back on that the video I just took, or actually the segment of the video I just took there, that one mast had a tiny bit of flash on it. So if you picked that up and thought, oh, I'm going to write in and say, Harry, there's some flash on your kit. Yeah, I saw it. It's okay. I'm on it. I'm over it. I probably could pull it off with my fingernail, quite frankly. So really, what I'm saying is there are some damn shocker Zvezda kits out there, really. Some of their older ones are, quite frankly, dreadful. They really are. I think they're copies of other kits, and the moulding is just bloody horrible. Who knows? But the newer kits, and I don't think this is that old. I should check a date. I'll do that before I do instructions. I'll find out when it was actually first done. I think it was probably about 15 years ago. But anyhow, like the Varag, they cared about it and they did a decent job. You know, and I'm sure that they do that now with every kit. Because I know the new Tiger and a few of the other kits that have come out, a lot of people are really saying good things about them. So Zvezda has come a long way. They've still got their jerks and quirks, you know. It's always going to be a little bit Russian. But it's like building Dragon, which has got that oriental flavour, and trying to figure out the instructions. You know, if you can get a good kit out of it at the end and you enjoy building it, who cares? And I think I'm going to enjoy building this. So lots of fun with the oars. I saw one guy, he painted the oars like not all the same brown. He basically variegated them, you know, if you can use that term. That's a term in plants that have leaves of different colours. So, you know, some oars were a darker brown, some oars were a lighter brown and washed and that. And so he mixed them all up and then he randomly put them all through the boat. And that looked really good. So I'm going to pinch his idea. Yes, Harry Houdini's ideas are not original. He steals from everybody. Yes, but no. I just build upon what other people have done and then make it my own. And then tell everybody I thought it up. No, I don't. I always give credit where credit's due. Right, so those are the oars. And there's going to be a lot of those. But I think there's less oars there than there were track links in my lamb waffle spitter. Yes. What's that, they say. More about that later. There we go, the eyes have it. Yes, as I said, they're not eyes of Horus. Some people think they're eyes of Horus. But generally, no, they're just eyes on your Greek boats. There you go. So the eyes of Horus, they'd have a few more lines coming on. Be Egyptian. It's not Egyptian, mate, it's Greek. So, yes, that's lovely. They're a water slide transfer. Not getting into that decal argument with anyone. So this water slide transfer looks very nice. And that part that I didn't know with bow stern, as I said, it is the bow and it has a little mark exactly where to put these. So that was rather nice of them. So even after you weathered, washed and painted, there's a tiny little groove edge there. So you know this is where this slots in. So that's going to look mighty on the front of the boat. It'll really bring it alive. It'll be able to see where it's going. Yes. Now, and you also get a flag. Well, it's a streamer, sort of. It goes to the back there. It's going to be a little tricky to cut out, but no doubt we'll figure that out. I might do the old trick of mounting that on some aluminium foil, you know, stolen from a Milo lid tin. Yeah, Milo, you know what Milo is? Look that up. It's a great Australian drink. Everybody drinks Milo. Yes, Milo makes you strong. Yes, anyhow, it's sort of aluminium foil, very thin, and then I'll be able to basically bend and shape that, and it should look quite nice. Yes, could look quite nice, or even just cut one out of aluminium foil, quite frankly, and away I go. Although that's got some nice shading on it. We'll see. Either way, we'll put a nice little sort of what would you call a pendant, I suppose. Yes, a fappy little streamery little flaggy thing on the back. That'll look cute, look lovely. Now, the all-important instructions. Yes, and it's in a lot of languages, which is quite good. So they've got it, well, you know, whatever your flavour of language is, it's here. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, it's getting hot. It's getting hot. It's going to be 100 degrees today. Goodness me. But anyhow, there's an English version for me. So it basically gives you a little bit of the history about this one. She could do a whole 18 kilometres an hour, ripping along. Yes, well, in those days it would have been. And it says the crew was 200 men. So that tells you there's quite a lot of oars here. I'll actually count them up when we build this thing and find out just how many, because there's certainly going to be close to at least 150, I'd say. So we'll see. But that's quite good. You can read all about that. You've then got all your Russian do's and don'ts. You know, don't start an international incident, and don't poison any of your neighbours. Yeah, with the paint, of course, and the glue. Yes. So they've got all that. You can read all that. And then the instruction part itself, there's not much to it. There's really not much to it. There's that piece that I say that the oars will link into. There are those little bits that fell out, and they just link the sides of the hull together, and there's the base of the hull. And there's those wingy things. Yes, I was right. They'll fit into the base. And so that all comes together fairly quickly. And, you know, you're already into part 3 and 4. Well, there's those two little pieces there, which I was uncertain about before, but that's what the eyes go onto, and that will be fitting down here onto the front of the hull. And you've got your deck pieces, and there's a few little bits and bobs going. Not much. And pretty well at this point, you'd have, basically, you've got the hull built up. So it comes together fairly quickly. Now, here's these little sort of plasticky rope things. So it'll be interesting. The back ones would be for the steering oars, and that front one would probably be for the anchors. So there you go. I was sort of right. It's almost like an anchor chain. And then you've got the nice little filigree here at the back, which is the big sort of the tail that flicks up, makes this thing look like a giant sort of sea monster. I rather like that. And your sprits go in, your mainmast, your bowsprit, and you've got a little ladder to go down in there. So I might try and do a little bit of detailing in there if we can see it at all through this little hatch. Who knows? So we have a ton of rigging on this. You probably won't see a bloody thing. And then you start to put in some of the little anchors here for the rigging. Oh, and there's that little the cafeteria tent goes to the back there. Yes, so, you know, while you get a little bit tired from doing the rigging, you can pop in there, have an ouzo, you know, sit back, bit of bread, a bit of, you know, unleavened bread in olive oil, and a few olives. It's lovely, lovely. And that, yeah, that little thin one there, that is at the back here, which is what I imagine the pendant goes on. And there's a side panel here for these buttresses, or whatever you call them. I'm not quite sure what you call them on ships, but they certainly stick out at the side, and basically that's where your oars will be sitting in, and some of your rowers will be in there as well. So more of that later. I'll do some research when we actually make this thing. I'll be able to talk a little more intelligently. Well, maybe. It's me we're talking about. So, yep, oars go in, a few other little bits and bobs, and this is adding the steering mechanism. There's your ram there. And they have this little thing here, which basically, because the base of the hull is separate, you could do this waterline. So you could do this in a little seascape. And then they say if you're basically going to not use B1, which is the base of the hull, you cut the bottom part of the ram off, because otherwise it'll be poking up. So that ram pretty well sits at waterline, which is correct. It was designed to sit right on the waterline there, so pop, it would go, nice big hole in your Persian enemy ship, and they would go gurgling to the bottom of the Mediterranean, or whatever sea you are currently fighting in. Yes, anchors go on, and we will do a little bit of rigging there, it looks like it. There is that big plastic rope, but then there's going to be some cotton here, because basically tells you how to tie and knot it. It says get knotted. Few last pieces, and that's it. You've got 13 steps over really not more than 3 pages, and you're done. You've built it. But you're not finished yet. No, thought that was easy. Then you've got here all the different kinds of knots, and they're basically indicating 5 types of knots. It's very clear, it's easy to read, and then you start to get instructions on how to put things together and how the rigging's going to work. And it's very clear. I had a look through here, and although you've got to hunt for the English instructions, I'll need English. I speak English, despite my Australian accent and my vernacular. Yes, I do speak English, and it's sort of there. It's a bit of rusty speak. The syntax is interesting. After the master mounted, pull thread through parts, and then thread 2 parts through part, upper part. It's there. You've just got to get your head around it. But the knots are all numbered, so you can refer back to your main chart. What knot is it? And there's a few little plastic parts. That was that bit that I said. It's like a mainstay holder, and everything threads in there. And all the parts are moulded so nicely that you've got all the holes in all the little plastic shackles and blocks and what have you. Now here's the interesting. They give a little hint here. Use a pencil to tie and create your loops, which then become your loops down here, which you can then put your block on and then run all the lines through. So it's very clever. So they're giving you step-by-step ways of doing this rigging. So it's less scary than you think, because actually they've got it all worked out. So that's quite good. But again, you've got to hunt around, and here's 3 and 4 and 5 of the English instructions right down the bottom here after all that. So you've got to find your language and your instructions, but it is all there. Oh, and number 2 sitting up here hiding in that. Oops. Yes, there. Okay. So I can't say. I'm sweating so much because of the heat. I've got the air conditioner on so I don't annoy you with this video, that my glasses are filling up with perspiration. Anyhow, enough of my problems. Again, how to do those tiny little blocks there, how to do those. How to rig up the booms. Yes, it's lovely. So I don't think I saw those booms. Probably did, called them something else. Who knows? They were in there. How to rig the sails. And again, all those points, the holes are through the sails, making it easy for you to do everything. So all good there. Basically, it'll take some time. There's certainly quite a lot to do, but none of it is impossible, and none of it's really beyond the skills of the average modeler. You just follow the instructions, do a little bit at a time. Don't try and do it all in one day. And then again, very clear diagrams as to how the rigging should look once it's all on there. And again, another clear diagram. So you've really got 1, 2, 3 stages, or they call them schemes, right? 3, and you probably do. You might be able to get through one in a session, or it might take you a weekend. So it's all doable. So it's very nice. It's very nice. It's all doable. And then you get to the last page, and they talk about painting. Although I'd advise you paint the thing before you rig it. Otherwise, it's going to be a devil of a job trying to get your brush in there, in between all those bloody cables and wires and everything. So there's your flag, as they call it. Yes, it's on there. And they're recommending white and red for the sails. But I've seen one of these done in more the Greek colours of blue and white, and it looked gorgeous. So I think I'm going to steal that idea as well and do the blue and white sails. They should look really nice. And if you don't put it on too thick, you'll still have that transparency through, which was so lovely about the plastic. And there's your paint call-outs. As usual, you get them in Zvezda colours and Model Master. But really, let's face it, there are no colour photos taken at, 2,500 years ago when this thing was floating around the ocean. The best we've got is some drawings and some paintings, and we have got some relics. And there's a pretty good idea of what things were, the types of wood and the types of paints, the types of tars and things they had. So, there's a bit of research out there that can give you an idea if you're worried about accuracy. I'm not. I'm just basically, I've seen a few photos and seen a few pictures of models that I like, and I'm basically going to take out of that what pleases me, and that's how I'm going to build mine. So it'll be more a work of art rather than something that's perfectly accurate, because that's how I model. If you haven't figured it out yet, yes. All right, well, there we go. That's everything to do with this kit. So what you think of that, hey? Yes, it's not a bad kit. I mean, Zvezda has its moments. I mean, I have complained about Zvezda in the past, but this kit's not too bad. I mean, there's not much else you can get. I don't think there's only paper or wooden models that you can get for a trireme. So this is the only game in town, but they have done a pretty good job. At least it's a good basis for me to build on. And I'll be able to do a lot with this. And I thought of putting in some cloth sails, but honestly, the texture and the quality of those plastic sails, I think I'll get away with them just as they are. They'll paint up and weather nicely. So that's what I'll be up for. And of course, there's going to be a lot of rigging, but that's all right. The instructions are actually, they are comprehensive. they're a little bit tricky to figure out until you realise it's Russian. You've got to think sort of Russian logic. So basically, eat a potato and drink a bottle of vodka. It all makes sense. Sorry, Russians. You know what I mean? It's a different sort of logic to how we think in the West. But I've sort of got a handle on it. I think I can understand it. And I've seen some other guys build this particular kit. So I should be able to wing it. And anyhow, who cares? I'll just have fun doing it. And if I end up putting all my bloody shackles on back to front and rig the bloody thing upside down, I don't care. I'll just build it, put it out. There you go. Chuck it in the bathtub. It'll be fun. All right then. Well, that was the Zvezda Greek Trireme, or as they say it, Trireme. Triera. Well, we call them triremes. 3 banks of oars. Well, actually, 3 rowers per side. Oh, look, I've explained about the whole, penny canter, bireme, trireme thing before. It's complicated. It's really complicated. But this is a trireme, 3 rows of oars. It's going to look terrific. And I'll be really proud to have this one sitting in my display cabinet. Alrighty, well, that's it for this video. I hope you stayed to the end and I hope you enjoyed it. All right, there'll be more on my bench. I've got a lamb waffle spitter coming up. What's that? Yes, you'll see. It's a kit I've had sitting in my stash for quite some time. And then the weather wasn't right for doing any painting or doing anything much at all. And I just started tinkering with it. That'll be coming up soon. I'll show you that. And I'll get an update on the Varag. And we'll get back to the, the sadist. Yes. Sadlist. Yes. The ship I reviewed last year. That big German battle cruiser or Grand Cruiser or whatever you want to call it, because there's no direct translation from the German word for it. But we call it a battle cruiser, okay? So Germans, don't write in and tell me, it's not a battle cruiser. We know that. We know. We just, in the English-speaking word, we don't have a word for what you're talking about. For us, it's kind of like a battle cruiser. Anyhow, enough of that. Lots more to come on my channel. It won't all just be ships. I've got some aircraft coming, like wingnut wings, and the waffle schlepper, which is sort of armour. Wait till you see that. All right, that's it for now. It's goodbye from Australia, and it's hooroo from Harry Houdini.